You're listening to Civic Media. You can tune into any of our live shows on any radio station across the state with the Civic Media app. Find us in your phone's app store and listen anytime, anywhere.
Good morning and welcome to Matenaer on Air. Jane Matenaer, Greg Mock, and Calvin Butenoff coming to you live from our home at Radio Park in Racine. You can always join us. Call or text. The number is the same at 855-752-4842. You can also leave a comment if you're watching on the live stream on Facebook, YouTube, and what used to be Twitter. Busy hour coming up for you. Before we get to our next guest, after the 10:30 news, the segment we call Audio Sorbet, where we get away from the news and talk about lighter things. We got the big guns coming in.
The big guns.
The big guns.
Does that make me a small gun? Does that mean like a
medium size?
But I feel like I'm more like the Derringer, like just that thing is like that's an adorable little gun.
CEO Sage Weil and our COO Corey Hartman are going to be joining us after the 10:30 news. I have something for them, by the way. I have a gift. That's coming up after 10:30. I know. Right now, though, we are joined by our friend and colleague and host of the Dr. Kristen Lyerly Show, which just got picked up in Chicago. Dr. Kristen Lyerly is here. Good morning, my friend.
Hey, good morning. And I'd just like to remind you, Greg, size doesn't matter.
Yeah, that doesn't make me feel good.
Great gun. You're great.
Your gun is just the size it should be.
Perfect.
Hey, hold on one second. HR, I got I'm on the phone right now. I'm on the air right now. I'm very, very uncomfortable.
Jacqueline, we have a problem.
Yeah.
Tell us about you getting picked up in Chicago. That's really, really exciting.
The way that this show has grown is, I don't even understand it. Like, I'm just an OBGYN doctor trying to do something good in the world.
Stop it.
I honestly, this started in Green Bay and it was hyper local, and then it was all across Wisconsin, and then Chicago, AM 820 WCPT, which is one of the biggest progressive talk radio stations in the country, said, hey, let's put you on Saturdays at 5. So that's what we're doing.
Amazing.
That is so great, Kristen. It is.
It is, but it's challenging because I like to talk about the Packers, and right now that's just not really cool. And
I'm sure.
Chicago.
Yeah, I suppose that's going to play a little bit differently south of the Illinois border. But hey, they knew what they were getting when they asked you.
Yeah, they did. And, to be fair, like, if you didn't watch the game last weekend, oh my God. But there's going to be a rematch in Chicago.
Real soon.
But the following weekend?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
So, like, I could talk real big right now, which I don't. I love this rivalry. It is the most historic intertwined rivalry in the NFL.
Yes.
So I think it's a blast, but I could totally be eating, if I gloated, I could be eating my words hard in a week and a half. So I'm not gloating. I am praising, and I'm just excited for what that matchup brings.
I think it's wonderful because every season we get to see Bears fans get really excited, and by week 2 they're really sad. And this year they got to have some excitement. They got to really enjoy a good season. I mean, they're playing fairly well, better than, I would say more consistently than the Packers were. I mean, we were supposed to beat Carolina and beat the Cowboys and beat the Browns, and we did almost those things.
Yeah.
But like, I think that's very, very fun. And I feel like, this is just me, maybe because I'm from Wisconsin, but I feel like Packer fans, in our excitement and in our, like, how much we love the team, we also have a healthy dose of reality in our systems to say, like, okay. Whereas Bears fans and Chicago sports, I hijacked the conversation. Chicago sports fans, maybe who are fans of a Northside baseball team, cannot live with the idea of a defeat from a Wisconsin team at all. Like, there's always a reason why it happened.
The worst thing that happens to them is losing to a team from Wisconsin.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Whatever. And can I just ask, like, do you think the Pope has something to do with the Bears record? And then
I feel like every answer I have is mean.
The way that they did last time. So, like, I don't know, because there's some divine intervention. I don't know. I'm just injecting that into our conversation for your thoughts.
In pun. I think that, I will say this as a side note to that. I've really enjoyed seeing Pope Leo be a representation of a good message to the people. And every time I see him on, I know there are things about the church we can talk about. I can definitely get in. That's another time off the air. But I will say that when I found out that the guy who was going to lead the Catholic Church was handpicked by Pope Francis to be a part of this, I was like, okay, there won't be and when he was American, I'm like, okay, no MAGA Pope. Thank goodness. I just don't need that. I want just be a beacon of the message. That's what I say. But
that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah, sorry about that, folks. Medicine.
But okay, here's your bridge. Because what is happening for people who cannot access healthcare in a healthcare environment? And Jane, Greg, you guys sent this article to me about how there are people running free clinics all across the country, really, that are in places like church basements.
Mm-hmm.
And this particular article highlighted a clinic that's in a church basement in Milwaukee. People come in for free care. All of the care is offered by volunteers. It is set up where they have like dividers to give a little bit of privacy in these environments. This is what people are increasingly having to turn to because they can't afford healthcare. And these free clinics that have very few resources and can, to be honest, they can't do all that much.
Sure.
It's not like they've got technology and a CT scanner down the hall. I mean, they just set up in the church basement one day a week to help out whoever they can.
Yeah.
And they too are tapped. They're maxed out, and they know that this is about to get so much worse.
Dr. Lyerly is referencing an article in Wisconsin Public Radio from Addie Costello, and we will include this in the show notes. It says, "We don't turn anyone away. Wisconsin's free clinics fill gaps as thousands are expected to go uninsured. Clinics bracing for more patients as Affordable Care Act premiums spike and enhanced tax credits expire." Yeah, and we're just on the cliff. People are shopping for their plans now, and allegedly our lawmakers are going to vote today or tomorrow on something today, but they can't agree on anything, and nobody has enough votes to pass anything. And the Republicans again are like, well, we have a plan that we've written down-ish. It's in invisible ink. Where is this plan? They've had 15 years to come up with a plan. They don't have a plan except to give us
a concept of a plan.
Seriously, and the whole we're going to give $2,000 and put them in your HSAs. That doesn't even cover people's deductibles for the year for one person.
Let me just back up here. Do you remember when the government was shut down for many, many days, and they said, and we were holding out on ACA subsidies, and the Republicans said, come back to work and we'll negotiate with you. Well, the Democrats went back to work and there's been no negotiation. So that's what the vote today is about. The Democrats want to extend the ACA subsidies for 3 years. This is exactly why they came back to the table.
Yep.
The Republicans want to give people $1,000, maybe $1,500 if you qualify, and they want you to put it into an HSA, a health savings account. That's all. They're literally flashing money in front of your eyes, money that won't even begin to cover the cost of the cuts that are about to be implemented.
Well, and this whole thing, and I've heard several Republican lawmakers say, we want to cut out the insurance companies. This is so people can have more power. And so, okay, you give me this $1,000 and I need a knee replacement. So I'm going to call my area hospital and they're going to negotiate with me over the price of my knee replacement. That's how that's going to work. They're not. They're going to say, here's the price.
Well, and that's the question I want to put that to a question, is that we have been talking about healthcare for so long, and the ACA, while not perfect, and nobody ever said it was, gave people a little more access to healthcare on an individual basis, and gave people a little more access to
what's happening there?
I'm hearing myself.
I am hearing you there too.
That's very weird. I'm magical. But for the longest time, you know, the problem was like the exorbitant costs from the insurance companies, and no one ever said anything about like trying to no one's ever said cut the insurance companies out, because the ACA, you work with insurance companies to get a program. Now all of a sudden these lawmakers are saying we're trying to get rid of these bloated billionaire companies. Wait, when did you stop liking them, and how is this doing anything? And you are actively making it harder for people to act. It was tough enough as it was. You are actually doing things now that are making it more difficult. How did they get to turn the narrative against from them to the insurance companies, who are still going to make out like bandits regardless, and also give them money in their elections?
Well, and that's the thing, and that has been my question too. When did everybody start hating on insurance companies who are in government? Both sides, they all take money from insurance companies in the form of campaign donations. They do. Do
The
a
insurance
Google search
lobby.
on it.
Oh, yeah, they are incredibly powerful. That's how they ended up staying in the ACA in the first place. So don't forget, though, that the truth is not a barrier for Republicans. They will say anything, and it doesn't matter whether there's any truth to it or not, because as long as you believe it, that is their purpose.
That's all that matters.
And that's all that matters. And remember, they control the entire government. They may make you feel like they're some sort of victims, but they have total decision-making power right now. So anything that happens that is affecting the cost of food, the cost of healthcare, the cost of housing, all of these things in your life that are becoming harder to access, that is Republican. They are not here for you. They are here for them.
If you are just joining us on Matenaer on Air, our guest is Dr. Kristen Lyerly, our friend and host of the Dr. Kristen Lyerly Show. You can hear it statewide on weekends, Saturdays and Sundays at noon. Now also running in Chicago. I want to go back to what you said about it doesn't matter if what they're telling you is a lie, as long as you believe it. That goes back to J.D. Vance and the whole Haitian immigrants are eating the cats and dogs. He essentially admitted that he made that up. He made it up to make a point that he didn't like these immigrants. That's a classic example of them lying directly to you and then saying, well, yeah, it was a lie, but you know what? They bought it, and that's all that matters.
And that's how they counter the narratives that are out there. You can see it when you're looking at people's social media posts, and you can see these tropes that are repeated over and over again. That's what they're telling you to repeat on Fox News. But it's not just, I mean, it's really bad when it's coming from our leaders, like the Vice President of the United States, but it also happens to them. I mean, the whole JD Vance and the couch thing. If you remember that was not true. That's not in his book. That was something that somebody just put out on Twitter, and it caught fire. So this is the environment that we live in. They know that all you have to do is put something out, something spicy out into the universe, and it will get repeated. But you would think that they would have more honor than that.
Yeah, no. Not so much. Honor, shame, integrity, truthfulness,
Self-reflection.
Yeah, none of that seems to be applicable anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I think we'll get past it. I do. But I think that in the meantime, those of us who do believe in the truth and relationships and each other, investing in each other, we have to maintain that. Because once we get past that, we'll still be here, but they won't.
And we're seeing in stories and from, posts that people are starting to stand up a little bit more. And when one stands up, three more stand up.
Makes it easier.
Makes it easier, and we move forward to being together, because this is about protecting our best interests in this country.
We're all in this together,
Indeed,
my friends.
indeed.
We're all in
Care
it
of each
together.
other.
We're going to continue our conversation with Dr. Kristen Lyerly on the other side. Stay close. You are listening to Matenaer on Air. This is the Civic Media Radio Network. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Civic Media. Stay up to date on the latest news and information for your local community and Wisconsin by signing up for our free email newsletter. Visit civicmedia.us/email to get started.
Good morning and welcome back to Matenaer on Air. Jane Matenaer, Greg Bach, our one, our only Calzone on the board. Coming to you from our home at Radio Park. Join us at 855-752-4842. Leave a comment on the live stream on Facebook, YouTube, and what used to be Twitter. A couple of texts that I wanted to share. Tom from Jackson sending in his love for Kristen Bry and also love to Dr. Kristen Lyerly. And Andrew from Maine also says waves to Wisconsin's favorite OBGYN, also not discounting the glorious Dr. Hanks and potentially future Speaker of the House, Dr. Kristen Lyerly.
Oh
my
man.
gosh.
Look
What
at
a
that.
crowd. I mean, to be here with you guys and all of those names, I think of the community that you've built here, Jane. It's like
Love on her.
listening
Do
to
it.
Jane says.
There it is.
I'm like having a moment thinking
Mhm.
about just being here with you and doing this and how much I love this time that we have together. And what am I going to do with all of this built up angst that I have when I don't have you around?
Join us 9 to 11 with...
Angst with Dr.
Yeah.
Lyerly. We'll just do a whole show about angst.
I think that, something that, this goes back to because I met you, Dr. Lyerly, through Kristen and through Jane on the old show, As Goes Wisconsin.
Yep.
And, I think one of the, I want to love on both of you right now because of that opportunity to do it, to do the show and to talk with you and have those conversations. I was brought on to be the comedian. And as you can see, 2 out of 10, but really, you think you know topics, you think you know what you stand for, but a lot of times people stand for something because you say like, well, of course I'm for the rights of a woman to choose her body, like her autonomy, but I don't know the nuance about it. I just say the sentence and I feel good about myself. But by talking to the two of you and talking to Kristen and the whole, I learned so much about just the process, not just about the physical process of being pregnant before, during, and after, but how it affects the world and how the world affects the person who's in the situation or the people who are in the situation. And it has opened my eyes to so much more conversation and understanding to be able to not get into arguments, but when people say things that are not the best,
Maybe not accurate.
truthiness,
Not accurate.
I can say that actually isn't true. This is the thing, blah, blah, blah. It's opened my eyes to a whole new world of understanding on the topics I thought I truly believed in, but I believe in even more now because I actually have details.
Well, knowledge is power, and knowing more is always better. Thinking if I don't read something is going to leave me in a better spot is backwards.
I'm the kind of person who's always questioning things. Like it makes the people in my life crazy. They're like, why don't you just believe something? But I need
Just take
evidence.
it.
I can't do that. But we don't actually do that all the time. Even me, sometimes we just passively absorb information. And until you have a conversation about it and you reach that point where you realize, I don't actually know this. I don't actually understand this. And you can talk about it in an environment where you're challenged and you have to think about it. That's really important. And that's what you do here. And that's what I'm really going to miss, Jane.
Well, our whole contention from the very beginning we're not experts. We're not. As much as I would love to be.
Some listeners would say we're not even smart. So, hey.
Yeah, they're entitled to their opinions. But that's why we have brought on people who are lawyers, who are doctors, who are farmers, who are economists, who are psychologists. So I can learn from them as well. And again, the whole goal of the show was if we can all learn stuff together and make it entertaining, that's the best of all worlds, at least in my estimation. And if I don't laugh, I'm going to die. So,
not to be dramatic, everyone.
but
We're all going to die, in the words of Joni Ernst.
we are, there you go. But I mean, and that's fine. But I would at least like to say that I laughed more through my life than I sobbed.
Yes.
And I
Wow.
just think that's really important.
Yeah,
I do.
yeah.
I think it's really important. And listening to experts and being open to experts and being willing to admit, I don't know everything. I don't find that shameful. I find that
It's freeing.
freeing,
Yep.
It is.
right?
It is.
Saying,
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm not sure, I'll look that up. Or the biggest one, very much not a phrase in this country right now, I was wrong. To say I was wrong is a huge. To be able to say that with full chest and say I was wrong,
Or I was fooled.
yeah,
I got fooled. I was lied to.
yeah, I was wrong, and you then can move on to work together or learn more. It just, I don't know. It feels better than holding on to your inability to grow and say like, well, I don't need to learn new things and I'm right and you don't understand.
Yeah, then you're wrapping yourself in your own ignorance and giving yourself a prize for it. That's not prize-worthy.
No.
It just feels so much better to be able to relate and communicate and learn and approach life in a holistic way instead of feeling like you're always right. You have to double down. I mean, I can't imagine the stress and the discomfort that
How
that must create.
exhausting, right?
Yeah.
And I also think if you want to stay young and if you want, keep learning things and keep exposing yourself to different people and younger people and older people and all kinds of people. Everybody,
You heard it here, folks. Jane just recommended that you expose yourself to all different kinds of people.
maybe not literally exposed.
Well, folks, it's been fun. Have a good day.
clarify
Happy retirement,
that.
Jane, you weirdo.
Don't go exposing yourself to people and then saying Jane said I should do that.
Jane said,
says-
expose yourself.
Dr. Kristen Lyerly has a fabulous show that you can catch on Saturdays and Sundays across the network. The Dr. Kristen Lyerly Show. I love you, my friend.
I love you too.
Take
Thank you.
care. News is coming up next, and then when we return, the big guys are here. Our CEO, our COO, joining us next on Matenaer on Air on the Civic Media Radio Network. Don't go away. Good morning and welcome back to Matenaer on Air. Jane Matenaer, Greg Bach, Dr. Slide on the board, coming to you from our home at Radio Park in Racine. You can join us, call or text at 855-752-4842. Leave a comment if you're watching on the live stream on Facebook, YouTube, and what used to be Twitter. Coming up in just a little bit, about 15 minutes, we will wrap up the show as we always do with This Shouldn't Be a Thing. Today, the Steer Clear edition. Stick around for that. Also, real quickly, if you are watching on the live stream, you can see we have a fabulous limited edition Beyond the Cheese stocking cap that was graciously made for us by Wisconsin Knitwear. The first person who can call in at 855-752-4842 and tell Calvin what was the keyword from last hour, you will get the last of these. We have two left. Beyond the Cheese, highly sought after, limited edition stocking caps.
I better not see it on the electronic bay. I'm telling you that right now.
Right, it'll show up on eBay. The first caller who gets through and can tell Calvin the keyword from last hour at 855-752-4842. You'll be staying warm this winter with a highly sought after limited edition Beyond the Cheese stocking cap. All right, we are joined right now, delighted to be joined by Civic Media's CEO, Sage Weil, and our COO, Corey Hartman are both here. Gentlemen, good morning. Thanks for being here.
Oh,
Hello.
Oh, we need Sage's mic on. Oh, sorry, Calvin's doing multiple things now.
Not good to keep the boss's microphone.
wow. Holy cow.
Yeah, cut his mic.
Oh.
He owns the company. Cut his mic.
Dun, dun, dun.
By the way, while I have you both here, Sage and Corey, I have something for both of you. For the brief time that I was office manager at WAUK,
Oh, boy.
I saved every single receipt. Every single receipt for everything I use the company card for.
Well, you can turn those in tomorrow.
But I wanted you to know that I was on the up and up, and I never bought Target snacks just for me. So here are all
cannot
the
believe-
receipts.
So oh my
thoughtful.
goodness.
Thank you.
You got to go into ADP next. You got to go in. One of those. You enter them in.
Enter them all individually. You can give those to
Triplicate,
Jacqueline.
three copies.
Yes.
Manager's approval, the whole thing. Yeah.
But I was going through my stuff last night and I found those, and it's like, oh, I want you to know that I had never gotten a company credit card before, and I took it very seriously.
Appreciate that.
I did. So are you guys here to fire me or what?
Oh my God.
We'll wait for that.
We can't do it.
I mean, I don't know what to say. You say this every time. You're like, you're gonna come here and fire me. Like, no, they're not. Although, it would get a lot of views online.
It would. We'd probably go viral.
We
on
could do
that.
like a wrestling type of thing where they kayfabe fire you.
Right.
Well, I think this is your chance, right? Like this is when you get to say what you really meant to say this whole time. You've been holding it in. What's the worst that can happen, Jane?
I do want to say thank you for giving me this opportunity, and I've said this many times, and I've never been able to say it to you. To give a woman in her 60s her own show is not a small thing. And I am very well aware of the trust and confidence you put in me, and I'm so grateful for that.
Well, you made it a very easy decision, Jane. I'll just say that. We've been so honored and grateful to have you for these last, was it 3 years now?
3 years.
3 years. You've been a real joy, and you make it look so easy.
Well, and I also want to thank you and Corey as well. Both of you, I'm sure, when you saw my name come up on your phones, were like, oh my God, it's Jane again. Oh God, do I have to take this call? Oh God, what is she going to say now?
Glad to take the phone call every single time.
And you always did. You both always took my calls. You listened to my complaints. You asked for my opinion, and then you actually listened when I gave it to you. You didn't necessarily follow everything I told you to do, like to give me a $400,000 raise, but it was worth a shot. It was worth a try. You got to throw it out there.
You don't ask for
exactly.
in this business.
Oh, then while I have you both here, then I have a couple of ideas.
But it's been what you are doing, and still media is constantly changing. Mm-hmm. It's a very, very challenging business to go into, especially at this point in time, because things have changed so much.
Yes.
But civic media still is doing something that nobody else has done in coming into these smaller communities and buying radio stations that were part of these communities for a long time and then went dead for a really long time. So we continue to bring life to little radio stations all over the state and now in multiple states. And I think that's a remarkable achievement and a big plus to these communities. It's so important to have local people and local reporters on the ground. It is.
Absolutely. That is the mission of this company, is to have local news and information and voices in smaller communities in order to bring people information that they need to go about their lives. Mm-hmm. And it's been a rough couple of decades, I think, for local media, not just on the newspaper side, obviously, but a lot of consolidation in radio and a lot of disinvestment. But what we find is that there are frequently these treasures of stations in small communities that have staff that just have been pouring their hearts out, usually with very little support.
Yes. and ancient equipment.
Ancient equipment, like you would not believe some of the things that we've seen. But it feels really good to come into these communities and like give these people the resources that they need in order to do the type of radio and do the type of journalism reporting that they really have been wanting to do, and just haven't had the support.
Well, and Corey, let's talk a little bit about putting together a news department.
Sure.
Is very expensive, for one thing, because you need bodies. You have to have actual human, living, breathing, carbon-based life forms to cover meetings and to go out into the community and meet people. You can't just do all this via automation and chatbots. You can't.
Yeah, and I mean, at least some of the city councils and county boards and things, at least they stream now. Mm-hmm. So you can go back the next day and watch them. You don't necessarily have to be sitting in the council.
But now
chambers.
We're losing WISI. Now we're going to lose WISI.
WISI's going away, and you know, some of these boards are doing the best they can to hide the stream on some calendar somewhere where nobody can find it. You know, I owned a station in Baraboo for 8 years, and the newspaper there, not to keep picking on newspaper, but they'd go to the city council meeting on Tuesday night and they'd hold the news until the Saturday edition.
What?
Always they because that was their biggest circulation,
Oh.
and so they were lucky if there was one local story a day in the Baraboo paper, and radio fills a need in so many communities. There's one in the northwest corner of the state. It's a daily newspaper. Their office is open 10 to 2 Tuesday and Thursday minus lunch. So the local newspaper is open 6 hours a week.
Oh my!
For you to come in and drop off notices or news tips or whatever. I mean, those are the types of news deserts and holes that we're trying to fill.
Well, and I think what's important that folks realize also is that if you do not have local reporting on the ground, that actually affects your city's bond rating, because they want, if people are going to loan you money, they want to make sure that there's someone keeping an eye on the hen house.
Accountability.
Right?
Yeah.
And so if you don't have local reporters who are going to those really boring council meetings to keep tabs on these folks and what's going on, it affects your bond rating as a city and your ability to borrow money and all of that stuff. It's much more complicated, and that's why it is so critically important.
And it's the checks and balances, right? And if your council people are just spending, or they're not listening to the residents or whatever, and you don't know what's happening, and that's it's so hard for people to get involved as it is. But then if they're not getting the information until after the meeting's already happened,
right?
And so much of that stuff happens in pre-committee before it even gets to the full committee. And those are the types of things that we're trying to remind people, like go to the budget meeting, go to the meetings before the meetings.
Yeah. If you're just joining us right now, I'm Matenaer on Air. We're speaking to Sage Weil, the CEO of Civic Media, and Corey Harbin, who's the COO of Civic Media. And we are talking about the wonderfulness that is Jane. We are also talking about the importance of the mission of Civic Media and the importance of both local reporting, local coverage, and accountability. And I think that's, when you say that, Corey, something that pops into my mind, and Don Rosen had a great interview a couple months ago about this, but Sturtevant just collapsed their police department out of nowhere. Unbeknownst to the police department, unbeknownst to the people, they decided it in a backroom deal, and they came out and said, this is what we're going to do. And the police said, I'm sorry, what? And that was it, and it's gone. And that affects the people. And we need to keep up with those stories. We need to know what's going on. And going to places like civicmedia.us and going to the individual radio stations of this company will get you that coverage you need, will get you the information, and also just supporting those local papers and supporting those local news outlets, supporting public broadcasting as well.
Absolutely. So what is the vision for Civic Media going forward?
I mean, there are multiple pieces here. I think one of the biggest things for me that motivates me is that when you look at the overall media landscape, there is so much content out there. There's so much news that you can consume, but most of that news is about what's happening far away from your home. It's about what's happening maybe in the state capitol if you're lucky, but mostly what's happening in DC, which are things that are like very important, obviously, but they're things that you have very little actual control over, and they don't always affect your like day-to-day life. Although that's changing a little bit these days.
But at the local level is where things happen, right?
Exactly. Like the things that happen in your community. Local government has the greatest direct impact on your daily life. It is also where you have the issues and the discussions and the decisions that affect your community and what's happening in your community, and that you actually know the people who are involved in the situation, and where the issues that are being decided usually aren't breaking down on the same partisan divisive lines, right?
On the community level.
On the community level, right? Like
Yeah.
these are like real decisions that have to happen in your community that impact your children, your public school, your roads, your access to a clinic, what's happening with your local hospital. Like these things are very important. Very important.
So important.
And there's increasingly a smaller amount of journalism and content that's actually covering those decisions.
Yeah.
And so that's where the game is at.
Well, and Corey, we're going to have to we're going to slide you over into the Tisbat segment because we're going to come up against a hard break. But what you've done, like in Ely, Minnesota, and brought that station back to life, which is such a cool story. It really is. It's on the edge of nowhere.
It is on the edge. Well, I mean, you could see it from there, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, the signal goes partially into Canada, and it's the Boundary Waters Canoe area, northeastern corner of Minnesota. It is way up there, and it is the only local media. They have a daily newspaper. It's a very conservative newspaper. A town over has what I would consider the arts and entertainment type newspaper. But as far as commercial broadcast audio media, there's a few, NPR, public radio influences there. But other than that, for commercial radio, we're it. And to bring that station back to life after it was off the air for almost 2 years.
Huge
Deal.
Yep. We're going to continue our conversation with Civic Media CEO Sage Weil and Corey Hartman, our COO.
So that's how you feel.
Stay close. You are listening to Matenaer on Air, coming to you across the vast, statewide, countrywide. Yes, you can pick us up around the world on the Civic Media Radio Network.
You're listening to Civic Media. Find the latest news, information, and archives of all your favorite shows on the Civic Media website, civicmedia.us.
Welcome back to Matenaer on Air. Jane Matenaer, Greg Bach, Sweet Calvi on the board, coming to you live from our very crowded studio at Radio Park in Racine.
It's a line for the bathroom. It's
really? Join us at 855-752-4842. You can also leave a comment if you're watching on the live stream. Good morning, live stream on Facebook, YouTube, and what used to be Twitter. I cannot thank all of you enough for being we have half the staff of Civic Media in here, and we're spread out all over the state. So for you folks who drove hours to be here for this, I cannot thank you enough. It means the world. You're going to make me be a sobbing mess. I don't want to do that.
Oh, too bad.
I don't want to do that. I'll cry later.
You'll cry now.
I'll cry. No, I'm
You'll
not.
cry now.
No crying. There's no crying in broadcasting. There's not supposed to be anyway.
But here we are.
So here we are.
Here we are.
Here we are. You told me to be like water.
I told you to be like water, and you made a bullet point speech for your goodbye.
I did.
So go for it.
Are we ready?
Hey. Are you ready?
I am ready. All right, here we go. Here's my bullet point bye-bye. Number 1, not being informed is a choice. You are choosing to give someone else the power to make decisions that directly affect you. If you think about it, we walk around nowadays with encyclopedias in our hands. So saying you don't know about something is not an excuse. As my mother would have said, go look it up, get informed. Knowledge is power. Don't give that to somebody else. Share what you know. Number 2, myvote.wi.gov. Use it. Call your representatives. Let them know you're probably better informed on things than they would like you to be. And if they aren't going to work on your behalf, perhaps they could have the decency to wear the logos of their corporate owners. I mean donors. No, I mean owners. Number 3, there is nothing wrong with reaching out for help. Asking for help is a sign of wisdom and courage, not cowardice. Call 988. It's there for you. Number 4, now more than ever, we need one another. So get involved. Help a neighbor. Help a stranger. Volunteer, donate, write postcards, find your candidate, knock on doors, organize, donate blood, adopt an animal, or buy a unicorn cape and march in support of democracy. Whatever works for you, but do something. Number 5, eye contact can be fun. Interact with other humans. Okay, not in a creepy, unbroken, staring kind of way, but try something crazy, like saying good morning to the clerk at the gas station, or hold the door open for the lady at the post office. Giving out a small compliment to someone, again, in a non-creepy, stalky way, can actually make someone's day. I've done it, and so far, no one's punched me yet. Number 6, this is state-specific for people in my beloved home. Friends, we live in Wisconsin. When it snows, can we at least pretend we've driven in it before? Snow isn't new. Neither are the laws of physics. Your big, fancy, expensive vehicle is still going to slide. And as a reminder to all of us, a semi-truck will always beat you. Respect them. Oh, hell, just drive like me, and then everything will be fine. Number 7, remember that respect is earned, not demanded. And number 8, never forget the importance of a little bit of silly. Laughter is an undervalued commodity. A chuckle to yourself is worth just as much as a big belly laugh, and it's all free. I hope you find some joy going forward, and you have the chance to share it. I love you guys.
We love you too, Jane.
Standing ovation for
My
Jane
goodness.
Matenaer.
Oh, my goodness.
It has been a gift.
4 more years. 4 more years.
I promise to only email everyone once a week
Yeah.
with all of my suggestions and things you should be covering and talking about. And you are all special and magnificent, and what you do makes a difference. Please, please don't ever doubt that, because it does. It makes a difference. And everyone who listens, you all make a difference too. Every little thing can add up. Just like we talk about making donations for things. If you can only do $1, if enough of us do $1, that makes a difference.
It makes a difference.
So we're pebbles. Be a pebble. Or a goldfish. Or be a plant. I don't care. You can be whatever you want to be.
And that's exactly.
Here's some flowers for you.
Look at that.
Got flowers for Jane here.
Oh, my goodness. Look
Thank
at
you, everybody.
Yeah.
And Jane, you have made a difference.
Yes.
You have made a difference. You're asking other people to make a difference. You have made a difference for your 44 plus years.
And
in
now
radio.
I have the whereases to prove it.
Exactly. You are legally recognized in Milwaukee.
Thank you,
It is
everyone,
Jane Matenaer Day.
so very, very much. Take good care. Take care of each other. I love you. And
love you
stay
too.
tuned for news. News is coming up next. Keep it here and tell people about it. The
What should
Civic-
people do with joy?
I hope you find some joy today.
There you go.
And you get the chance to share it. News is next. Tom Hartman has the next keyword for you. $200 up for grabs. Don't miss out.
You could win next hour.
I could enter. Where's my phone? You're listening to the Civic Media Radio Network. Love you guys. Take care.
The national news cycle never stops, but it can be hard to find news about your local community. Civic Media is dedicated to providing quality local and state news coverage across Wisconsin. With the Civic Media app, you can get notifications about local stories that matter to you and your community. Find the free Civic Media app in your phone's app store and choose notifications from the menu to tell us what kind of news you want to hear about.